Greetings and salutations, YouTube. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are here reporting on some news on my nerd report. Nice little segment of my channel that I like to go into for my nerd report is the satellite space wars. So I got some news for you on that front. More on the SpaceX slash T-Mobile side this time. But remember to subscribe to the channel, hit like, and then also stay for the story. So, first story is SpaceX tries to poke hole in rivals AST Space Mobile next gen satellite plans. So, if you haven't really been keeping up, this is the long short of it. SpaceX is starting to gain competition. There's about, I would say, at least 3 or 4 competitors in the space right now. Apple has backed Globalstar, but SpaceX has really been focused a lot more on AST because AST is going to be offering services for AT&T and Verizon. So I guess they're taking more aim at them than their other competitors. So right now, inside of this article from PC Mag, and I'll leave the link in the description. For the most part, AST is trying to get their constellation off the ground, where SpaceX already has their satellites in space already, and that they've been testing. So one of the biggest things about what's been going on is SpaceX feels that AST is cutting corners. They don't really feel that they are taking the necessary provisions to make their satellite as safe as possible. So they've been going to the FCC and arguing to the agency that, hey, the FCC needs to weigh in on whether to grant their experimental license to AST to test a larger version of their satellite. So I'm going to leave this right here so you can see the difference. But basically, their newer satellite is called the FM1 satellite, which spans like 223 square meters. Pretty sizable, pretty big. I think way bigger than what SpaceX offers on their constellation satellites. But is 3 times bigger than what their first gen was for Bluebird. So they were experimenting with their first gen Bluebird with experimental license. Now they want to go to something bigger. The size of the satellite really does matter due to the fact that AST is using a lower frequency to do their cellular from space. And the size of the antenna actually matters when it comes to frequency. So if you ever look at cell sites and you wonder what the bigger antenna that stands probably alone, that is the low band one. And the low band frequencies have a tendency to be a bigger antenna. So this antenna for AST is going to have to be a lot bigger due to the fact that it's using a lower frequency, whereas SpaceX is using 1.9 gigahertz. I think that what AST is offering for Verizon and AT&T is in the 800 megahertz. So smaller antenna, get a smaller satellite. Bigger antenna, bigger satellite. So they're looking to try to offer this as soon as next year. So we're in crunch time now. The competition is ready to start sending their satellites up. And the FCC is getting pushed into, regulating the playing field, you could say. So in this one, SpaceX argues that the applications for the FM1 satellite contains worrying mitigations for orbital migration. So basically, when the satellite runs out of juice, whatever that, which is regulated by the FCC, they need to have a deorbital plan. So you don't want these satellites just to be wandering around all willy nilly, and they have to deorbit them. So currently, right now, SpaceX deorbits their satellites after almost 3 years, and then they burn up in the atmosphere. But AST wants to have their bigger satellite orbiting for like 6.5 years. So that's 2 times longer than they initially wanted them to be up in the sky. That's what AST is looking to get the FCC to approve. Now, you can look at this from more of a competitive standpoint. If the FCC grants this to AST, then you could see SpaceX saying, "Hey, we should be able to keep our satellites up a lot longer." Also, you can see that more from a competitive standpoint than you would having to say, "Hey, I think that our competitors should have to do a 3-year deorbit plan just like we do." And then, SpaceX also claims that with going to a bigger satellite, that there might be a bigger chance for collisions, since they're pretty much orbiting the same plane. They might be out of orbit probably by a couple of 100 miles, but there's still chances that their planes can cross and cause issues, and you end up having debris that's orbiting space. Granted, it'll be lower orbit, but it still be in the orbit nevertheless. And then, SpaceX has become more vocal in attacking AST, since these services are coming online now, and they just now if you talk the business speech, that they feel that, hey, we're looking out for the little guys. But more than likely, SpaceX sees their competition starting to heat up, and they want to try to, if they can, step on their toes a little bit to keep them from being able to launch a product. If they feel like their product is not as competitive, I would say. So depending on, does a lower cellular band work better versus a higher cellular band from space? We're going to find out very soon. But it's going to be interesting to see. AST has been complaining that SpaceX has been using anti-competitive tactics and trying to bully their competitors in this space. So they have not, from what I could tell, they have not responded back to the FCC yet. They have to respond about their FM1 satellite within a couple of days. At the time of this recording, April 15th has already been addressed. Not so much as addressed, it's already passed. I haven't seen any news that has come out as of yet, but I'm still scouring the web to see what's going on. But also, in the same footprint, you got T-Mobile over here at the same breath lowering the price for cellular Starlink as satellite competition heats up. So in the last story, this is the reason why I'm putting the both of them together, because I see both of them came out at roughly about the same time. And normally, when you get them in pairs like this, either T-Mobile feels concerned about their competition, and they feel like they have to lower prices to get ahead of them so they can get a whole bunch of users on real quickly before their competitors start coming online. And that's going to be roughly probably about next year, depending on how fast AST moves. But they just announced a couple of days ago that T-Mobile's is shaving like $5 off of the original plan. So it was $15 but now there's a promotional feature currently right now. I think they're offering it for $10 for AT&T and Verizon users, so you can download an eSIM to try it out. And then it's a downloadable eSIM to try it out on Verizon, AT&T, and a $10 a month per carrier as the carrier preps for the launch of the satellite service in July. So we got less than a couple months before T-Mobile really tries to start pushing the satellite from space offering to their customers. I'm really seriously thinking about putting this on my plan currently right now. I'm waiting to see more people talk about this service. I haven't really come across anybody who's been very upbeat about it as of yet. The stories on Reddit, I don't really like reading Reddit as much due to the fact that there's some angry people on Reddit from time to time. But the quality of the service has been kind of janky, as from what people have been reporting. But the fact that T-Mobile and SpaceX has already put up over 560 satellites in space. Like right now, they're looking to they're doing text messages right now. So, how much texting are you trying to do to test out the feature? I wanna see the data downloads, and I want to see the voice calls before I make a decision on adding that service onto my existing plan. I'm already thinking about changing my plans anyway. So this is one of those considering points. If I'm going to be paying higher prices, I might as well go ahead and take advantage of everything that T-Mobile's offering. And the fact that they were already going to come in cheaper at $15 a month, which I think that's probably going to be the price at the end of the day. After promotions or whatever, they might still do promotionals. Hey, get the satellite service for $5 for just voice and data, voice and text, and data will be fully $15. They'll probably do something like that to monetize it, but I think like overall it's going to be $15 a month. And when your competitors are reported that they're going to start charging $20 a month, so that's a differentiating way of saying, hey, we're doing the same thing, but we are trying to save you money. So I'm very curious to see what is going to happen. I want to wait until the data is being used on the satellite side before I get ready to make a decision. That's just me. But let me know what you think. How do you feel about the satellite from space? Are you optimistic? T-Mobile is moving up their plans. They're giving discounts on the service that they're giving discounts on the service that they don't even have out in the full public yet, which they're still running it in beta. So are they moving faster because of competition and they want to get ahead of their competition, or do they actually see a uptick in service and people switching to the service of interest? Those are the two big differentiating factors. Moving fast to capitalize on your competition not being there in the space yet, so just in case their offering might be better, or do you see a groundswell of people wanting this service and you're trying to take advantage of that? I'm just curious to see where it's going to go, but let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and tell me what you think in the comment section below. Y'all have a good one.